Welcome back to Gold Derby. I'm Christopher Rosen. I'm so pleased to be joined by Danai Gurira, who plays Okoye in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I was telling one of my colleagues I was speaking with you, and she was like, "Oh, she's an MVP of the film. Everybody loves Okoye and your performance." I guess I just wanted to start there, like a little bit, like, I mean, how gratifying is it to get that kind of feedback from playing this character? I feel like she is a legitimate, like, people love seeing her on screen and love your portrayal of her.
Oh, thank you. That means everything. I mean, I'm just thankful to be a part of it at all. You know, I never could have imagined something like this coming about when I was approached all those years back, and the vision Ryan had for it, and this amazing group of actors he brought together. I've been able to form a family with and lifetime friendships with, and you know, just even having been able to spend time working with them, the amazing Chadwick Boseman. I mean, I could just go on and on about the blessings I've had. I'm just thankful if people respond to her. I love her. You know, I think she's amazing. I think every character is incredible. I think we're all the perfect like puzzle. But I do deeply enjoy being Okoye, and
no, it's great. It really is, and I think you're right. The ensemble is obviously incredible, and all of your performances are really work well together. The character goes on, obviously, like you mentioned Chadwick and his tragic death, and T'Challa obviously also dies in the film. It's such a huge emotional journey for Okoye. I feel like there's so much grief that she's processing throughout the film. And then also, obviously, I'm sure you did as well in real life. And I guess I wanted, like, how did you, I was wondering, like, how are you navigating that as a performer where your, like, own grief is probably seeping into the performance, but you're also playing a character going through different kinds of grief maybe than you would experience? So, like, how did you kind of figure that out, I guess, as an actor?
You know, it was interesting because in the sense that it was very intense. And I was saying just earlier, myself and Letitia Wright connected right at the beginning of the process. And we honestly didn't know how we were going to get through it. We just knew we had to lean on each other. We didn't know what we were stepping into and how it was going to go down for us to do this without him, and to do this with the grief that we had not been able to process together yet. Because you know, we lost him during COVID, and right at the height of COVID. So it's just been a lot of it was a lot of connecting with each other, leaning on each other. There were some days you were stronger, and some days other people in the cast were stronger. Ryan was a great anchor. He'd like walk you through a lot of what you were dealing with. Like he had a wisdom to how we were to process and to keep honoring Chadwick through our work. That was very, very anchoring as well. But yeah, I think, you know, the idea of Okoye's grief versus mine is, I found this very and I realized it only later that we were actually dealing with the exact same thing, in the sense of the disorientation she goes through, and then also, you know, the sort of the process of trying to constantly be a control freak and be in charge and control. That's what she is. She's in charge of, she has massive responsibilities, so she better be a control freak. And I'm the same way. I'm a control freak. And then I was disoriented because I'm trying you know, we're trying to do this movie in the midst of being part of in this grief ourselves. And so I only realized later how there was this parallel thing happening for me and for Okoye, because it almost was the same, but it was placed in different parts of my soul, you know. So I didn't even realize that how much me and Okoye were like mirroring each other.
Right.
But it was very important because just stepping into Okoye's connection with T'Challa was something that was very specific, and in my connection with Chadwick, and not having him there to make this thing together. And that was what we were, artists making this thing together, and he was this very anchoring, powerful, loving, generous leader that was always there. And so that and brought such a joy and a peace to the set. And so it was a disorienting component for both of us, because I know Okoye felt that with T'Challa. So in some ways I was very thankful for, like, even the funeral scene, because it allowed us to pay homage to him in a way that we hadn't been able to in real life. And it was just so right to be able for the Dora Milaje to be the pallbearers, and to do this last act of service to him, and And I, as Danai, felt that as my act of service to all the work that Chadwick put into creating this world and this character, and honoring him as my brother. So there was a lot of paralleling going on, and sometimes it anchored you, and sometimes it really threw you, and you had to lean on others to get through those moments. And I think we went through a lot of that together as a cast.
Yeah, the memorial scene is incredible. I saw this in like the theater, right, with like real people, and like just dead silence, like everyone was like wrapped and like kind of like really respectful of it. And I've never really seen anything like that. Was that one of the first things you guys did as a cast when you got back on set? Did Ryan like put that up front so you guys would have that kind of moment as well as a group?
It was very early on. It was very, very early on. And it was very, very powerful to be able to do that together. And just, you know, he had such a beautiful vision for it, you know, with the dancers and the all white and walking through those streets to Bashenga. So it was anchoring, and it also brought us together in a way. We were all together because a lot of times you're shooting and you're not seeing each other for a long time. You're doing different things. And so it brought us together in a way that definitely was so crucial for just stepping into this world. And a lot of us, I hadn't seen that beautiful mural of him till the day we shot. And so, yeah, it was a very, very emotional day, but there was something of a celebration of him in it as well, which I think was so beautiful with how Ryan designed it. And so that allowed us to start going forward into the storytelling with it, having done that and having spent that time honoring him so specifically.
Right. And obviously, like this, I was getting a little teared up here listening to talk about this, because obviously it's like very emotional, but the movie is also incredibly fun, right? And there's like a lot of like really great, your rapport with Letitia, I think, is awesome, and the relationship Okoye has with Shuri, I find like really fun, and an expansion on obviously from what we saw in the first film. Can you talk about that and like how, yeah, you got like a lot of big laughs, I feel like, as Okoye, you're just so deadpan, and it's just very fun, and you are a great match with Letitia. So can you talk about like that and like working with her to, you know, get that relationship right?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I love working with Letitia. She's one of my closest friends. I adore her. She's that's my little sis. So it's always, you know, we have a full trust and a fun, and also we're also ambitious for the story. We want to tell it in the fullest way we can. So we play, you know, we play a lot. And those scenes we were able to really play. That whole sequence of being able to go to find Riri was really, really fun. I remember even from the first day when we go and we find Martin Freeman's character, and my first line, she just found it so funny. And it's in the movie. I was looking at ADR and I was laughing at her laughing, because it was just like she just cracks up and shakes her head like this chick, and it's just like we just have a lot of fun. And so even the scene where we see Riri for the first time, we both had our shades on, and Ryan was like, "Oh, just leave your shades on," and we were like, "Okay. Are you gonna give me some more of these?" No, okay. But we just kept our shades on. Those are our shades that we just came to set with, and so and then we were just talking smack, and he kept a little bit of it when we were just talking about like the poor village school that was MIT, you know, and you know, the primitive nature of their cell phone usage, and you know, of their iPhone usage. We're so past that in Wakanda, you know. So like we were saying tons of stuff, like we were just having fun, you know. And I think that because we're very close friends, and we're also, you know, we both have it was a very similar sense of humor. We're just able to sort of find things, and I think that's also really the case in the scene with Riri. We had such a great time doing that, like that day. Like Letitia was just cracking up all day, and I was improvising a lot of things, and Ryan kept what he wanted to keep, but you know, it was just really, really fun, and it was fun to also have her get her thrown off, because you don't see that often. So, you know, letting her get thrown off by this small girl who disses her unexpectedly, you know, was fun to play. You know, initially you're like, wait a minute, she should. And I was like, no, this is really fun. So we kind of, you know, he created the idea that she was wearing the wrong foundation on her head, and then we sort of played around with it and added a few things to it. And so we just had a lot of of good fun with that. And I think that comes with trust. It comes with being a family and just knowing we're all in pursuit of the same thing, which is like, to just bring a full experience. And that's what we did. That's like the essence and the energy of the first film, and definitely it had to be of this film as well.
Yeah, it's really incredible. I mean, like and the movie is so much. I feel like the movie is so much bigger than like the original film, and even though the original film is massive, so it's like really, it is a testament, I think, to all of your work here. I mean, people probably know this, but you're an acclaimed playwright as well. Like, how does that, when you are as an actor, how does being an expert storyteller like that help you as a performer? I guess I was wondering.
Well, sometimes I have too many thoughts, and
okay.
you can ask Ryan about that. Okay. I have thoughts. And sometimes I improvise things in, and he's always open to things that work, that work to him, and so I'll throw some stuff in, see what he takes, see what he doesn't, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes I'm like, so yeah, my mind is always doing that. And listen, he does appreciate that. He might take it, he might not, but he appreciates the fact that, and a lot of us are storytellers in various ways. People, bring in thoughts and ideas, and he's always really, really open to that. And he might not use it, obviously, that's his choice and his prerogative, but he's open to you finding things that are not necessarily on the page. And exploring that. So I definitely I can't help but be me. So he knows I'm gonna come in there and be like, let's talk about page 97.
That's like, awesome. Yeah. I know I've gotten to speak to like some other people on the production, and I know how much was done practically, like with the effects, and how much obviously you guys are like in the water and all these crazy things that we're watching on screen, you guys are actually doing. And I mean, the original film, again, felt like it's a very physical performance. How do you, like, this, again, it feels like 2 times or 10x, whatever it is, like so much more. How much did that, like, I don't know, how did you, like, deal with that this time around, and, like, the physicality, and how much does it help to be able to actually do that stuff practically, or as opposed to being like, oh, we'll just throw some CGI water on you later or whatever, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I was very excited to be able to do some water work. I was a swimmer since I was a little kid. I don't think you see Black folks swimming enough on the screen. So I was like, let's do this. I wish I swam more. I took it overboard. I went and got an Olympic swimmer trainer, and, I was ready. And then of course, the big one for me also was just the sequence on the bridge, which, was very important because it was, seeing her fight and fail, but also fight and not fail and then fail, but she's dealing with people that this is a whole new world. She underestimated the possible risk of bringing Shuri here. So there's so much going on in that fight. And there's storytelling happening in that fight that was very important, and a revealing of this world through her and how she deals with them and how she can't deal with them. So it was very important to me to do this work 100%. I love the physical stuff. I am a certified adrenaline junkie. I love getting in that thing. Give me the fight. I was the one going, give me the fight. Give me the fight. They're like, oh, we can't give it to you till Ryan approves it. I go to Ryan. I say, Ryan, can you go approve the fight? I need to learn my fight. He'd be like, what, is that on me or is it on them? I'm like, listen, y'all need to get in the room. And then they get in the room and I'd be like, we good? We good? We good? Okay, let me learn the fight, because I love to be able to, on the day, not think. And that requires so much. It requires so much work. You're layering in the specificity of the fight over the course of months. And so I know from experience how much I have to give to get where I want to go on the day. I want Okoye in the driver's seat on the day. I don't want Danai anywhere in sight. And the only way to get that is to work my butt off for months. So, I mean, I was the one who was like, oh, you guys are changing buildings? They're like, we're changing buildings. We're not training till Thursday. I was like hell, you think I'm not shooting this week? So you think I'm just going to sit at home? Oh, no. I said, give me Micah and give me 2 mats in a corner. And they're like, it's going to be really dusty. I said, I don't care. I have a mask on. Well, let's do this, And they're like, oh my God, this chick. So I was a little relentless, but I'm an adrenaline junkie, but I want to give her her full breath. You know, I want to let her live inside of me so I don't have to think she's driving, she's controlling, and I can find her. Like I find her little nuances in the fight. Once I know the fight, then her nuances start to come out, not Danai. It's now her body, not mine. But that takes so much work. And I knew that. So I was relentless. They were probably a little sick of me, but well, he said, well, I think the fight coordinator said something. You're crazy. I love it. Okay, come on. Those were his words.
It's amazing. We have to wrap up, but I mean, I think it's a testament to what you're saying there is very apparent on the screen, because it feels like such a natural performance, and it's really, there's a lot of nuance, and like you said, you're doing a lot of storytelling and like the physicality and all the different things you're doing. I feel like we could talk about this for a while, but we have to wrap up. Danai Gurira, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, incredible performance. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.